Hi, good day all of you. First of all, thank you all of you because my first video reached 1000 views. I'm specially thanking you, thanking all my subscribers and followers. I'm expecting same cooperation in future also. So, if anybody not subscribed, please subscribe and follow all my videos to become expert in C programming and Java. In future, I'm going to upload Python videos also. Okay, soon I will upload Python videos. If you want to understand Python, then you need to know Java programming language. If you want to understand Java, you should understand C programming language. That is the reason I am uploading C videos first of all, then I will upload Java videos. I already uploaded one Java video. Today I am going to upload second video also. So today we are going to discuss about tokens in C language. Tokens in C language. Before going to discuss about tokens of C programming language, we should know an important topic that is called C character set. C character set. What is meant by character set? The name itself represents, the name itself contains character set. Set means group of. C character set means it represents the set of characters. The set of characters or the group of characters which we are using to write a C program. The set of characters or the group of characters which we are using to write a C program comes under C character set. To write a C program, we can use alphabets. First one is alphabet. To write a C program, we can use, it may be C program or it may be C++, it may be Java, it may be Python. The topic is same. The set of characters which we are using to write a program comes under character set. Generally, we use alphabets in the sense from small a to small z, capital A to capital Z. And also we are using digits like 0 to 9 combination. Also we are using special symbols like semicolon, open curly brace, close curly brace, comma, square brackets, open square brackets, close parenthesis brackets, like that. And the fourth one is white spaces like /n, new line escape sequence character, /t, horizontal tab, /b, backspace, like that. All these comes under white spaces. So, to write a C program, to write a C++, to write a Java program, to write the Python program, we need to use all these four types of things, character sets. So, alphabets, digits, special symbols, white spaces, all these comes under character set because we are going to use all these characters to write a C program or any program. So finally what I am telling you, character set represents the set of characters. Character means it may be an alphabet, it may be a digit like 0 to 9 combination, it may be a special symbol like comma, special semicolon, open curly brace, close curly brace, like that. It may be a white space like horizontal tab /t, backspace /b, new line escape sequencer /n. All these comes under character set. I am telling again, character means it may be an alphabet, it may be a digit, it may be a special symbol, it may be a white space. All these comes under character. Suppose small a, it is called character. Special symbol semicolon, it is called character. Simply we can say the things which we can see on keyboard, all those comes under characters. Yes. Digit 5 also comes under character. Special symbol semicolon comes under character. Escape sequence character /n also comes under character. So character means it may be an alphabet, it may be a digit, it may be a special symbol, it may be a white space. So all these we are using to write a C program. So all these characters comes under character set. Okay. So now we are going to discuss about very important topic. Very important topic, that is called tokens. tokens in C programming language. Suppose if you go to hotel, I want to eat idli. Suppose I went to a hotel, I have given some amount to that hotel guy. He has given some token, correct or not? In that hotel, it contains a number of tokens: green token, red token, white token, like that. So the hotel contains a group of tokens. In that group of tokens, token means one part. Token means one small part of tokens, correct or not? In that thousands of tokens, in those thousands of tokens, one token means it is smallest part of tokens, correct or not? Like that, which have some meaning. It is one part of the tokens which is having some meaning. Suppose he has given red token. Red token represents idli. Green token represents puri. Like that, token contains some meaning. Like that, C token is nothing but C token means the smallest part of a C program. An individual unit of a C program. The smallest part of a C program. An individual unit of a C program which is having some meaning is called the token. Which is having some meaning is called the token. For example, I am writing a small program, base program, hash include stdio.h void main open curly brace. I am going to print some message hello world. Printf hello world close curly brace. Assume this is a program in C language. Open curly brace is the smallest part of this program, correct or not? Or it is also called as individual unit of this program, correct or not? Yes. Semicolon is an individual unit of this program, is the smallest part of this program. Smallest means which cannot be divided furtherly. Closed curly brace, smallest part of this program. Open parenthesis, smallest individual unit of C program. So here, open curly brace is the smallest part of a C program, individual unit of the C program, which represents the symbol for entry to the program. It represents the start of this program. It represents the start of this program. It represents the start of this program. Suppose semicolon. Semicolon is a special symbol, correct or not? So it is a smallest part of a C program which is having some meaning, which represents end of the statement. Which represents end of the statement. Closed curly brace, smallest part of the C program, which represents end of the program. End of the program in this case. Open parenthesis, closed parenthesis. These are the smallest symbols, the smallest part of the program, which represents function brackets. So what I am telling you, suppose void. Void is the individual unit of a C program, smallest part of the C program, which is having some meaning, which represents keyword, which is a keyword which means nothing. We will discuss later about it. So finally, what I am telling you, token means the smallest part of a C program, an individual unit of a C program which is having some meaning, like open curly brace, having smallest part having some meaning, have some meaning. Semicolon, smallest part, have some meaning, which represents end of the statement. Like that, the smallest part of a C program, an individual unit of a C program, which is having some meaning is called the token. I think you understood the definition of token, right? Token is the smallest part of a C program, an individual unit of a C program, which have some meaning is called the token. Tokens in C programming language, classified into 6 types. Tokens are classified into 6 types. Identifiers, keywords, constants, special symbols, operators, strings. All these six comes under tokens in C language, tokens of C programming language. Now we are going to discuss individual topics in detail. Okay, first one is identifiers. Identifiers, keywords, constants, special symbols, operators, and strings. All these six types comes under tokens in C programming language. Now we are going to discuss about identifiers in detail. I am arranging. First one is identifiers. Think yourself, what is your identifier? What is your identifier? My identifier is my name. Yes, if anybody want to recognize me, they can identify it by using my name. Correct or not? My name is Asin. Asin is my identifier. Suppose your name is Rama. Rama is your identifier. So, simply we can say identifiers are the names. Identifiers are the names. Of what? Names of what? Yes. Identifiers are the names of a variable, an array, a string, a structure, a pointer, anything. Simply we can say any name given by the user. Any name given by the user is called identifier. In C programming language, we have some topics. Variable topic, array topic, string topic, function topic, structure topic, union topic. All these topics are having some names. Variable having some name given by user. Array is some topic. It is having some name. Array is having some name. That name has given by user. Pointer having some name given by user. Structure having some name given by user. String should be contain some name given by user. Who gives this name? User gives names to these variables, arrays, functions, structures. So any name, it may be a variable name, it may be an array name, it may be a string name, structure name, union name, function name, something, any name given by the user is called identifier. This is the best definition of identifier. Identifiers are the names of a variable, an array, a structure, an union, a string, or something and so on given by the user is called the identifier. Or simply we can say any name given by the user is called identifier. Any name given by the user is called the identifier. So who has given my name? My parents. They are called member. They are called users. Correct or not? So any name given by the human being is called the identifier. And while giving names to identifiers, while naming identifier, we need to follow some conditions. While naming identifiers, we need to follow some conditions. Correct. Suppose my name is Asin. Correct or not? So is it possible to use my name as dash 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 x y dash dash z like this? No, because while giving name to users, we are following some conditions like that. While naming identifiers in the sense, it may be variable name, it may be string name, it may be array name, it may be structure name, it may be union name. While naming an identifier, we need to follow some conditions. Yes, what is the first character? An identifier may contains either single character or group of characters. An identifier name means it may be variable name, it may be string name, structure name, union name. An identifier may contains either single character or group of characters. That is the first condition. Second one, it may contains either single character or group of characters. The first character must be an alphabet. Yes. The first character of an identifier must be an alphabet like small a to small z, capital A to capital Z. You can use any combination of these. So the first character of an identifier must be an alphabet or a special symbol underscore. The first character of an identifier must be an alphabet or a special symbol underscore. Remaining all characters are, means second character onwards, third condition. Remaining all characters are combination of, from second character onwards, you can take combination of alphabets you can take, or digits you can take, or a special symbol only underscore you can take. Only underscore. So remaining all characters are combination of alphabets or digits or a special symbol underscore only. Special symbol underscore only. Fourth condition, no other special symbol is allowed. No other special symbol allowed. Special symbol allowed except an underscore. Except an underscore. Yes. While naming an identifier, only one special symbol is allowed, that is an underscore only. No other special symbol is allowed, like semicolon, comma, like that, except underscore. Next condition is, you can use underscore, but no two successive underscores are allowed. No two successive underscores allowed. Yes, you can use underscore as a character while naming an identifier, but no two successive underscores are allowed. Okay, and you can take up to 31 characters to name an identifier, but while compiler reading, it recognizes only first 8 characters. Yes, you can use 31 characters to name an identifier, but generally compiler recognize only first 8 characters. So these are the naming conditions of an identifier. Again, I'm telling you, identifiers are the names. My identifier is my name. Like that, in C also, we are giving naming to something like variables, arrays, strings, structures, unions. So who is giving that name? User. We are giving some names. So any name given by the user is called identifier. And while giving naming to identifier, we need to follow some conditions. That identifier name contains either single character or group of characters. It may contain either single character or group of characters. The first character must be an alphabet or underscore. Remaining all characters are combination of alphabets or digits from 0 to 9 combination, and also special symbol like an underscore. Only underscore is allowed except no other special symbol is allowed except an underscore, and no two successive underscores are allowed, and you can take up to 31 characters as the name of the identifier, but compiler recognizes only first 8 characters. Okay, what is an example for identifier? Suppose RAMA, Rama, is a valid identifier or not? Yes, it is a valid identifier because it contains only alphabets. If that identifier contains all alphabets, it must be always identifier, correct or not? Yes. If the name contains all alphabets, then it must be always valid identifier. Suppose R underscore M underscore A. Is it a valid identifier? Yes, it is a valid identifier because first character is alphabet or an underscore. Remaining all characters are combination of alphabets or digits or a special symbol underscore. No two successive underscores are allowed because between two successive underscores I am placing M as an alphabet, correct or not? So it is also valid identifier. Suppose 1 ABC is not a valid identifier because first character must be an alphabet or an underscore. Here first character used as digit, so it is not a valid identifier. Underscore ABC, yes, it is a valid identifier, correct or not? So A at the rate of BC, yes, it is not a valid identifier because here I used special symbol at the rate. I told you no other special symbol is allowed except an underscore. So these are the naming conditions of an identifier. My dear friends, any doubt, please comment. We will discuss. No problem. Okay. So this is the topic of identifiers. So identifiers are the individual part of a C program which is having some meaning. So identifiers comes under tokens. Identifiers comes under tokens. Next one is keyword. Keywords. The name itself represents keyword. We can divide this name into two parts. Keyword. Keyword means, first of all, it is a word. It is a word. The name itself contains word. Correct or not? So, keyword is a word whose meaning is already defined. Whose meaning is already predefined. Already predefined and cannot be changed. The meaning cannot be changed. The meaning cannot be changed. Again I am telling you, keyword, one more definition. Keyword is a word. Word means group of characters. Set of characters is called a word. Rama, group of characters, it is called a word. But here, keyword means it is a word. The meaning is already defined, already predefined. The meaning is predefined and that meaning cannot be changed. And very important definition of keyword is a word whose meaning is known by the system itself. Whose meaning is known by the compiler itself. Understood, my dear students? Keyword is a word. The meaning is known by the compiler is called the keyword. The meaning is known by the system. The meaning is known by the compiler, or the meaning is already predefined and whose meaning cannot be changed is called the keyword. In C language, how many keywords we have? We have nearly 40 keywords in C programming language. 40 keywords. How many keywords? 40 keywords. But we are using ANSI. ANSI C compiler. ANSI means American National Standard Institute. American, N for National, S for Standard, I for Institute. We are using ANSI C compiler and our compiler recognizes only 32 keywords. Our compiler recognizes only 32 keywords only. Yes, we have 40 keywords. But our compiler, our C compiler understands or recognizes only 32 keywords. And out of 32 keywords, few keywords are like int, float, char, double, if, for, while, do, void. Void mean we are writing, right? In that void is also keyword. This you can understand in the feature while using. No problem. Don't worry. Don't worry regarding keywords. You should understand what is a keyword. Keyword is a word. Yes, int. It is a word. Group of characters. float, float. It is a word. The meaning is already known by the compiler. Yes. In the next topic we are going to discuss about variables or data types. Then you can understand the meanings of these things. Okay. So keyword is a word. The meaning is known by the compiler is called the word whose meaning is known by the compiler is called the keyword. We have 40 keywords in C language, but our C compiler recognizes only 32 keywords. Among those 32 keywords, of few keywords are like this: int, float, char, double, if, for, while, do, switch, void, break, continue. Like that, we have nearly 32 keywords. And the conditions of a keywords are: every keyword must be in lower case. Yes, no capital letter is allowed in keywords. Every keyword must be in lower case. And keywords cannot be used as identifiers. I told you, what is an identifier? Identifier means it is a name given by the user. Yeah. You cannot use these keywords as name of the variable. You cannot use these keywords as name of the array, name of the string, name of the structure, name of the union. Correct or not? Means what I am telling you, keywords cannot be used as identifiers. Like that. We have keywords topic. So this is the important topic and everyone should know the topic of keywords. Any doubt you can comment here. Okay, no problem. This is called keywords. So keywords are smallest part of a C program which is having some meaning. So keywords also comes under tokens. Keywords also comes under tokens. Next one is constants. What is meant by constant? We have Gautam Buddha statue in Hussain Sagar. At Hussain Sagar. Is it moving? No, it is not moving. That is called constant. That is called constant. Yes. The value of pi. The value of pi is always 3.14 or 22/7. So this is called constant. Like that, constants are the fixed values. Constants are the fixed values whose value may not changes. Whose value may not changes. Cannot change. They are called constant. Constants are the fixed values whose value cannot be changed. They are called keywords. Keywords are classified into two types. Keywords are classified into constants are classified into two types. Numeric constants. Numeric constants, character constants. So again I am telling you, constant means constants are the fixed values and whose value cannot be changed. Constants are classified into two types. First one is numeric constants, second one is character constant. Numeric constant means which contains numbers like digits, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 combination. They are called numeric constants. Numeric constants are again classified into two types. Integer constants. Second one is real constants. Real constant. Integer constant means integer constants are the integer numbers. It may be positive or negative. It may be an octal number, it may be a decimal number, it may be a hexadecimal number. I told you octal, decimal, hexadecimal number in the previous topic, numbering system. If you have any doubt, please refer lecture number 3 or 4. The topic is numbering system. Okay. So integer constant means, example, integer number. Suppose plus 35 is an integer number. Minus 96 is an integer number. Correct or not? 1,25,437 is an integer number. So what I am telling you, integer constants are the integer numbers. It may be a positive number or it may be a negative number. It may be a decimal number. These are called decimal numbers. It may be an octal number. Octal number starts with 0. 035 is an octal number. It may be an hexadecimal number. Hexadecimal number starts with 0x5459. It is hexadecimal number. So all these numbers comes under integer constants. Integer constants are the integer numbers and whose value, which may be an integer, a decimal value, an octal number or hexadecimal number. These all comes under integer constants and it may be a positive or negative. So this is the topic of integer constants. Real constants are the real values, like which contains 2.5 minus 3.6, all these dot values, all this comes under real constants. For example, 3.5 plus 3.5 minus 2.7. So these are called real constants. Which contains two parts. Real values are having two parts. This is called decimal part. Before dot is called decimal part. After dot is called fractional part, which contains two parts. One is decimal part, second one is fractional part. The part which exists before dot is called the decimal part. The part which contains after dot is called the fractional part. Okay. For example, you see carefully. For example, minus 5.7. So here 5 before dot what is there? Minus 5. So 5 comes under decimal part. After dot it contains 7. It comes under fractional part. So this type of values comes under real constants. Generally, real constants are represented in exponential notation. What is meant by exponential notation? For example, minus 3.6 we can write as minus 36 into 10 power minus 1. Correct or not? Minus 3.6 can written as minus 0.36 into 10 power 1. Correct or not? So this representation is called the exponential notation. This representation is called the exponential notation. Into 10 power something we are writing, right? That representation is called the exponential notation. So real constants are the real numbers like plus 3.7 minus 19.26 like that 26. So real constants are the real numbers which contains two parts. First one is decimal part and second one is fractional part. Generally real constants are represented in exponential notation. Exponential notation like this. In this part is called the mantissa. This part is called the mantissa, means the thing exists before into mark is called the mantissa. Power is called the exponent. 10 power something is right. That is called exponent. Power values are called the exponents. So the things which exist before cross symbol are called the mantissa. The powers are called the exponents. One point remember. This mantissa may be an integer, correct or not? Here minus 36 is the mantissa. Means it is an integer value. It is an integer value. Here mantissa is minus 0.36. It is a real value. Means mantissa may be an integer value or a real value. It may be a positive value. It may be a negative value. Suppose 3.6. Instead of minus 3.6, I am using 3.6. Then mantissa should be 36 into 10 power minus 1. Means it is a positive value. So mantissa may be a positive value or a negative value. It may be an integer value or a real value. Exponent also. Exponent may be a positive value or a negative value, but it must be an integer value. Exponent we cannot assume as a real value. Correct or not? Exponent must be an integer value. So this is the topic of real constant. Very important topic. 100% you can get question in the interview or examinations. Okay. So this is about real constants. Again, I'm saying real constants are real values which contains two parts, fractional part and a decimal part. Okay. So this is the topic of real constants. So real constant represented in exponential notation, which contains mantissa and exponent. Mantissa may be positive or negative. It may be an integer or real number. Exponent may be positive or negative. It must be an integer number. Correct or not? So next one is character constants. Character constants are classified into two types. Single character constant. Single character constant. Second one is string constant. Single character constant means single character within single quotation is called the single character constant. Any character, it may be an alphabet. Character means what? Anything which we can see on the keyboard is called character. It may be alphabet kavachu. It may be a digit like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 kavachu. It may be a special symbol like semicolon, comma, something. It may be escape sequence character like slash and slash or slash t. Any character, any single character within single quotation is called the single character constant. Example for single character single quotation A. It is called single character constants. Single quotation semicolon. It is called single character constants. Single quotation slash n. It is called single character constant. Single quotation 9. It is called single character constants. So single character constant means any character within single quotation is called the single character constant. Then what is meant by string constant? Group of characters. Group of characters within double quotation is called the string constant. For example, double quotation Rama is called string constant. Means group of characters within double quotation is called the string constant. Group of characters within double quotation is called the string constant. For example, double quotation A 1, 2, 3 semicolon open curly brace something. Correct or not? Yes. Yes, correct. Group of characters which in double quotation is called the string constant. So this is about constants topic. So this is enough for today. So please my friends, if you like my videos, please subscribe and please share my videos to your friends in your groups and ask them to subscribe. So to understand C language and Java very clearly. So I am telling you 100%. If you go through these videos, you can understand writing C program very well. Okay. Thank you. In the next video, I will continue C tokens. Okay. Constants are also comes under tokens. Thank you very much.